Gentlemen, good afternoon.
Hello.
I'm Michael Stevenson, the president of Simon Fraser University, for those I have not had the pleasure of meeting, but it's a great pleasure to welcome you all, especially most of you old friends of Simon Fraser University, on this opportunity. It is an occasion at which it is a great pleasure for me and for the university to introduce the new Dean of the Faculty of Communication, Arts and Technology, a new faculty established at Simon Fraser University, and the deanship now occupied by Dr. Cheryl Geisler, who I will introduce more in our proceedings later on, but I will ask her to stand and be recognized. Cheryl, welcome to SFU. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the impossible task to make invidious distinctions amongst our guests, but there are just a couple of friends that I want to welcome by name at this juncture. First of all, the great chair of our board of governors, a great friend and supporter of the university, Michael Francis. Michael, thank you for being with us. Secondly, two of the luminaries in the arts and culture world in this part of the country, who are the recipients of SFU's honorary degrees, Dr. Christopher Gaze and Dr. Max Wyman. Chris, Max. On a day like today, but in every day in universities, we're acutely aware that as public sector institutions, we rely tremendously on the hard work and support of our representatives in the Legislative Assembly, members of Parliament, obviously, in the federal government, and public servants. And I want to thank particularly for being here today, Mr. Dave Hare, who is the MLA for Surrey Tynehead. And I didn't mention the city, the municipal government as an equally important partner, but Andrea Reimer, our councillor in the city of Vancouver, is with us today, and I'm delighted to welcome her. Our tentacles extend outside, obviously, of the province, the city, even the country. We have major interests, especially in this area, in parts abroad. And one of them especially is India, and I'm delighted that Ashok Das, the Consul General of India, is with us this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave as much time as possible to introduce Cheryl Geisler later in our proceedings. I'm hoping, if anybody is listening, that lunch will be served as I make some introductory remarks. I don't mind being interrupted, as long as food gets underway. But I did just want to make a few introductory remarks this afternoon in welcoming Cheryl Geisler. First of all, her appointment represents a great source of pride at this university, that we have attracted an eminent scholar and a senior member of faculty of one of the major institutes of technology in the United States, Rensselaer in New York State. This is a catch for us, literally, for the province and for the country, and we're delighted that we can lean on her experience in one of the premier educational institutions in North America. Secondly, I want to say that this new faculty and the new leadership of the faculty represents the latest expression of SFU's strategic interests in three things. First, from its very inception, over 40 years ago, in establishing new niche areas which would expand the accessibility to the opportunities of higher education and expand the output of higher education in research and in teaching and in training in areas most beneficial to the future social and economic development of this province. Secondly, in seeking that broad objective, to insist on innovation as a guideline in all that we do. And thirdly, to insist equally on our active engagement with the community and in the community in shaping these programs for the maximum benefit of the society that we serve. This development of a new faculty in arts, communication and technology underlines, I think, these strategic interests of SFU. First of all, the importance of a niche expertise in this area is motivated by two things. First of all, by an intellectual revolution in the 20th and now the 21st century, which has recognized that much though our understanding, our research, and our effort should be engaged in understanding the structures of the natural and physical world as integral to our effective working in it, and much though it is important that universities, secondly, understand the structures of the economy and of the society in which we live in order to reshape it and to improve it. The sciences, the social sciences and the humanities are themselves integrally shaped by the structures of discourse, of communication, and of aesthetics, which so much influence the way in which we think, the way in which we perceive the world. This intellectual revolution, the communications turn, if you like, this sense of the fundamental importance of understanding issues of communications, art, and technology is widespread throughout the academy, but has really been a strategic focus with the clarity that SFU has determined in the creation of this new faculty. But just as important as an intellectual interest and preoccupation to universities is the very strong sense that these areas are of vital importance to the shaping and the future of the economy and our society. That creative cities, city-states with a very strong creative base and creative industries are absolutely essential to the future of modern economies and of modern societies. And so the mandate of this new niche area at SFU is very clearly to speak to those interests. With respect to innovation, I want to say very little except to recognize that apart from creating a new faculty, we bring together three schools which themselves are admirable examples of what SFU means by innovation. First of all, the School for Communication, the longest established, is probably the preeminent academic school of communication in this country. Long established, multidisciplinary, focusing on everything from a hard engineering interest in the technologies of communication to relatively far out interests, far out from the point of view of engineers, in the political economy of communications and the public policy of the regulation of communication, and of course nested inside a very exciting interest and expertise in the development of new media of communication. Secondly, the School for Contemporary Arts, also long established at SFU, rising out of the Center for the Arts at SFU in the 70s, an extraordinary commitment to innovation in the arts and to interdisciplinarity in the training of the arts community. A development which has relied on some of the great innovators in Canadian art. In the fine arts, for example, Jeff Wall and Ken Lum and others associated with the great development of photo art in the city were early members of the school.